If you are over 40 and a professional or entrepreneur within the Formula One value chain, or just a fan who enjoys and loves Formula One, then I would want you to consider creating a Formula One creator business. And this is because with your experience, with your knowledge, with the skills or expertise that you have, it is possible for you to actually turn all that you know into a creator business in Formula One that can be able to give you time, location, as well as financial freedom. And in this particular video, I want to share with you a 3-step ATC system, which is a system that you can be able to use and a framework that can guide you when building a profitable Formula One creator business. This is because you already have what it takes to be able to build something that can actually be able to be an income generating asset based on the knowledge, expertise, skills, and the experience you have already gathered from being involved or being a great fan of Formula One. Formula One is a big and global business with millions and billions of dollars exchanging hands every year. But the question is, are you part of that ecosystem? Can you be able to find a way to get involved in this value chain? If this is the first time that you and I are meeting, I am Joe, and if you'd want my help when it comes to building your Formula One creator business, I have created a free Formula One creator business jumpstart, which you can access using the link in the description below. The jumpstart is a free email resource, and all I need from you today is your name and the email address, and I'm going to send you the first email in the next 5 minutes. The first step of this ATC system is where you are supposed to actually define your audience. And this might sound to be a big thing, but it's basically being able to define the person that you want to serve. And this is very important because if you are building a business, the truth of the matter is that you are not going to serve everyone in the market. There is a specific person that you can be able to help based on the knowledge that you have, on the Formula One expertise, skills, and experience that you have. And that's what you want to be able to define. You need to be able to know where that particular person is and how you can be able to add value into their lives, or how you can be able to move them from point A to point B. And you cannot be able to do that without having clarity of who that person is. In marketing or in business terms, this is where you are talking of having your ideal customer profile. You need to be able to define who that person is. And this is in respect to the Formula One ecosystem that you want to get involved in. And once you do that, then you'll have a foundation of building your Formula One creator business. Because when you know the type of person you want to help, then you are going to have the ability to start building an ecosystem aimed at attracting that particular person. This is where content creation in Formula One comes in. You start creating content aimed at attracting that kind of a person that fits the characteristics or even psychographics of what you actually defined. And I know this kind of narrowing down sometimes brings a challenge, because you might be thinking that when you niche down or when you narrow down the person that you are going to help, you are sort of, leaving a lot of other people out. And that's the whole idea, because if you are going to create Formula One content, the content that you are creating can be broad. It can attract all sorts of people. However, the person that you need to help, the person that you want to work with, needs to be as specific as is possible. And what this means is that it allows you to create all sorts of content when it comes to Formula One, as long as it is within the Formula One ecosystem, and specifically targeting the kind of people that you would want to ultimately work with. So you can talk about all sorts of topics in Formula One, but when it comes to the person that you would want to work with, you need to create content that speaks to that specific audience or to that specific person. And so as you can see, having an audience becomes the first step or the foundational step when you are building a Formula One creator business. And that's why this becomes the first step of this system that is going to actually turn into a flywheel, and that will guide the kind of activities, the strategy you are going to develop, and also probably how profitable you are going to be, depending on the customer profile or the customer avatar that you have decided to actually support or guide and help with your Formula One creator business. However, just having an audience and not being able to build trust with that particular audience is not going to help your business. And that's why you need the next step, which is you need to actually build trust with the audience that you are building. And this is the second step of this ATC system. When you are building a business, it's good to always know that people will only buy from people that they trust. And so as you build your Formula One creator business, you need to be able to have a mechanism to actually build trust with the people that you are attracting into your ecosystem. And that means that the ideal customer that you want to serve, you need to have a system or a mechanism of continuing to build trust with that person. And what this means is that you need to actually establish a system that helps you to build trust with your ideal customer over time. And that allows you to also understand that person better. But more importantly, it helps your customer or targeted audience to also understand you and get to know you better. And this is where it becomes very interesting, because as you build your Formula One creator business, especially if you're in your 40s, you need to actually establish an email marketing system. And this is because when you are creating content, for example, let's say here on YouTube, or you actually have a blog, or you're doing it on social media, you're actually doing that on rented clouds. Those platforms do not belong to you, and you do not own the audience in those platforms. And that means that if someone comes across your piece of content, that's all good because they are going to interact with it. But if they leave, you may never be able to interact with that person again. So you need to find a way to be able to capture a small percentage of the people who interact with your content. And that's where email marketing comes in. And for you to be successful to do this, you need to start creating lead magnets or resources that you can actually offer to the audience that is watching your content, to the audience that is reading your content, in exchange for their names and email address. Because when someone gives you their name or their email address, that is them saying, or raising their hand saying, I am ready to either get whatever resource that you have promised to give me, or I'm ready to engage with you. And maybe out of 100 people who interact with your piece of content, maybe only 5 are going to get into your email list. And those 5 people are actually very important. They are real human beings, real individuals who have indicated that they are willing to give you an opportunity to build a relationship with them. And that is very important, because if you are building a Formula One creator business in your 40s, you need to be able to have a way to engage with people directly. And having an email list or people on your email list, that is what you would call owned audience. Those are people that you can speak to, even if your online platform, whether it's a blog or a YouTube channel or social media account, were to be taken away. You can still be able to send an email to the people that are on your email list. So when it comes to building trust with the audience that you are building, this is where you must actually have an email list. You need to look for the best email marketing platform in the market. Personally, I use Kit, and this is not a sort of a paid endorsement or anything. I'm just sharing with you what I use, because I believe that if something is good for me, then it can also be good for you. Email marketing is a very powerful way of actually building your online business, and specifically when it comes to building a Formula One creator business. And if you look at the statistics, email marketing has the highest return on investment. Businesses and brands actually love using email marketing because it gives them the best chance to have a high return on the investment that they are making when it comes to acquiring new clients and also generating revenues. And so if you are keen on building a Formula One creator business in your 40s, this is something that you cannot ignore, because this is what is going to become the next lander or the next step as you build an income generating online business. Because the next step, which is about making money, will not work without having been able to actually acquire an audience and building trust with that audience, because that's the only time you can then be able to turn the people who are actually in your ecosystem into paying clients. And this leads me to the third step of this ATC system, that you need to be able to turn a small percentage of the audience that you have been building into paying clients. And this is because having a Formula One creator business will not be able to happen without having a way for you to make money or to generate an income. And the only way you are going to make money with your Formula One creator business in your 40s is if you can start having clients who are paying for the products or services that you provide. And this is where you need to actually take time to build and create offers that can be able to generate an income. And an offer is simply something that you provide to your customers that is of value, something that they are willing to get in exchange of a small amount of money that they are going to provide you. And in simple terms, the solution that you are providing needs to be big enough that whatever investment the customer is making looks very negligible, it looks very small. And what this means is that the delta between the value that you are providing and the investment that the customer is making needs to be very huge, such that the investment is a no-brainer. If you want to make a lot of money, basically you need to help your customer to make multiple more of the same amount of money. So if you want to, let's say, the investment to be $1,000, it would make a lot of sense if the value that you are going to provide is maybe $10,000 or $20,000, because at that point, then the $1,000 that the customer is investing in your program or your services is actually a very small percentage of the value they are also going to get in return. So at this step or this stage, your work will involve actually creating offers and creating products and services that can be able to provide real transformation in the lives of the people that you want to help. And this is because that's the only way you are going to actually turn the knowledge that you have, the expertise that you have, the skills and the experience in Formula One, things that you have acquired maybe over the last 10, 20 or even 30 years, into a real business that generates an income for you and then can be able to provide you with time, location and financial freedom. Building a Formula One creator business is not easy, but it's equally not difficult. All you need is a system that can be able to help you to turn your knowledge or what you know in Formula One into a profitable Formula One creator business. And if you want a step-by-step help on how you can be able to do this, get my free Formula One creator business jumpstart using the link that is in the description below. This is it from me in this particular video, and I do hope that you have enjoyed this conversation. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not, and I'm going to see you in my next video.